some ninja skills over here. Popped it out. This is a tapered nut over here. Gonna reinstall the skyjacker system. So why don't we go ahead and go set that up now. So out with the old. I mean, look at this little junior over here, huh? Little junior. And in with the new.
Now that all four tummy tacks are in, now we're gonna measure and see how far we're off and in which direction we are swinging. Hey guys, welcome back to the Garage Couple. For those of you just tuning in, my name is Aline.
And I'm Greg.
And we have 3 Jeeps. We have a TJ Sahara, a TJ Rubicon, and the JK Unlimited. Today we're gonna be focusing on our beautiful Rubicon. We just recently purchased it. We'll put a link above on all the starter mods that we did. But for today, what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be starting with the front end alignment along with
the Skyjacker heavy duty steering stabilizer. As you can see here, look at this thing, it's crazy. So we actually dropped the 38s onto this TJ and we started a very controversial video, will 38s fit on stock suspension? It sparked a huge discussion, lots of positive comments, and unfortunately maybe 100 plus hateful comments, but you know what? It happens, and it just sucks that in the Jeep community people can't get along and people think that there's only one way to get things done. Obviously, we don't recommend running 38s on stock suspension. We're definitely building this Jeep up, and we just wanted to start with the tires and get our feet wet and hit the ground running.
And don't forget, you guys, we're not experts. We are learning in the garage. As you can tell, a lot of my vocabulary sometimes is off. We're just learning and enjoying time together in the garage, so hopefully we can learn together.
And hence the point of the channel. Just have fun to get it done. Without further ado, this is our kit over here. We have this Skyjacker heavy duty steering stabilizer kit that will bolt right into the stock location of the Jeep. It comes with all the hardware you need to get the job done. Also, as part of this video, we are going to be doing a front end alignment. To be more specific, we are going to be adjusting just the toe of the vehicle. We don't have adjustable control arms or control arm cams. Thank you for the comment telling us exactly what we have. So to get this job done, we've done this many times before on our other Jeeps, but this is our first time doing it on the Rubicon. We're going to use thumbtacks and measuring tape and some socket wrenches and this ratchet over here.
It's a lot easier than you guys think. You can definitely do an alignment at home if you have 2 people.
Definitely a 2-person job. Watch some videos on others that do it with 1 person, but definitely a little more difficult. We're also going to adjust the steering wheel on the Jeep, the track bar part of the alignment, just because currently when you're driving straight, the steering wheel is upside down. No fun in that. So without further ado, let us begin with our alignment. What do you think?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. So as Aline mentioned, the alignment is really simple. You're gonna need some thumbtacks just like this, and you're also gonna need measuring tape. You're also gonna need some sockets just so you can unscrew some of the bolts on the front of the vehicle. Now, the whole point of this is to get the wheels to toe in anywhere from 1/16 of an inch to 2/16 of an inch. That is, when you're looking at the vehicle dead on, for the tires to kind of be pointing inwards a little bit. The theory is, as you get faster and faster, they start pointing outwards and they level out at the highway speeds. So doing an alignment, a proper alignment, is crucial, especially when running large tires. And hopefully when done right with this nice steering stabilizer, we're not gonna have any wobbles or any issues driving down the highway. Hopefully we can get some footage for you guys up to highway speeds. Even though our Jeep currently shows slower speeds than what it's going, we still haven't fixed the odometer. Stay tuned for that later video showing how to do that on this 05 Rubicon.
Just get me.
Just verbally walking you through it right before we start. What you want to do is you want to find 2 similar points on the front of the tire and 2 similar points on the rear of the tire. The key is for them to be roughly the same height off the floor, as well as the same distance front and rear of the tire, so that when you get an accurate measurement, you're able to determine the difference between 1/16 of an inch, which is pretty incredible. Now, if you've never done this before, don't get frustrated. The first few times could be difficult, but just stay with it. Grab yourself a good partner. In my case, I have Aline.
Thank you.
And get to it. So let's put the camera down and let's get wrenching. So the reason we use pins is to keep the point consistent. So you want to, if you notice, every tire is different, but on this Milestar tire, it looks like we have alternating patterns of tread. So as it alternates, we're gonna find the same style on both front and rear. So I like this one with the indentation.
Moving on to the next side or what?
Moving on to the next side. We put both thumbtacks in roughly 17 inches off the floor. Now we're gonna do the same to this side. Hopefully put it in the same area.
And that is number 4. Let's do the measuring.
So what we're gonna do now is just measure where we're at baseline. So I'll hand this over to Ollie. And we're gonna measure exactly where we are at baseline, front and rear, and write it down. So this is 72 and, are you holding?
Yeah.
72 and 2. 72 and 2/16. Now we're gonna do the same thing to the rear. I'm gonna feed this over to Aldi. You ready?
Yep.
We have 73 and 9/16. That is way out of spec. That is way towed in. So we have to kind of toe it out a little bit now so it evens things out. Once you get your number locked in, you can go ahead and adjust some of these screws to get the tires pointing inwards as they should. So using two 13mm sockets, I'm gonna go ahead and remove this bolt. Looks pretty loose to me. Time to remove the other one, or loosen the other one. Bolt number 2 of 2. Once it's nice and loose, we are ready to roll. Using this pipe wrench over here, we are gonna be rotating this tie rod, and we're gonna try rotating clockwise, then counterclockwise, and to see if it makes a difference. Let's see which we need to go ahead and make this towed out so that it's only towed in about 2/16 or 1/16 of an inch. So we're gonna do that by rotating this tie rod.
So trial and error, guys. You're gonna rotate, measure, and then go from there.
So if you look at the threads over here, you could hopefully get them to rotate, which we are not able to. So let's spray it with some PB Blaster.
It gave us some resistance, you guys. So we used the heat gun right over there. We used some of that penetrating oil, that liquid wrench, and it did give. Woo! So toe in was up. So we went the wrong direction. So now we are going in. What's super helpful, you guys, is to track it. So I will show you right over here. You track the initial so that you don't mess anything up. So moving in the other direction. So we got the right side of the tie rod loose. The left side is giving us a little bit of a struggle. So we are leaving some liquid wrench on it. Gonna get back to that. We're gonna jump to the steering stabilizer in the meantime.
Nice, nice. And so currently there's a couple nuts and bolts. There's one nut here. It looks like a castle nut. You remove the cautery pin and then remove this nut itself. On the other side, it's held in with just a regular bolt and nut. So just remove these two. This might give you a little difficulty, but with a mallet, you can tap it out. Once this comes out, you pop the new one in and you are in business.
So the first bolt is out, onto the second. Looks like liquid wrench is the theme of today.
Ninja skills over here, popped it out. This is a tapered nut over here. Gonna reinstall the skyjacker system. So why don't we go ahead and go set that up now. And don't forget, while we're down here, we might as well use a Zerk grease gun to grease all of our Zerk fittings. So out with the old. I mean, look at this little junior over here, huh? Little junior. And in with the new. I mean, it is significantly more stiff and rigid. Look at this difference. This is nuts. So the first thing I'm gonna do is just push in these rubber bushings.
I guess the grease gun came in a little early, huh?
Just a little early, but let's just grease this thing up and drop it right in.
All right, we got them slipped in.
Now that we push the bushings in, let's go ahead and drop this metal rod in to prevent the rubber on metal contact with the screw. Just push this right in, just like so.
Wow.
Easy peasy.
Super easy.
Next thing is let's get this boot on. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, that's so cute.
Alright.
What's the purpose of that?
This is to prevent dirt and debris from getting into that piston. how, I believe it goes right here. Let me know if I'm wrong, guys. This is my first time doing it. I've never had fancy dust protectors before. Okay. Alright, let's pass this pin through, and I'm gonna go ahead and use washer, lock washer, and screw this thing on. And then now all we do is put this through the original hole, screw this on the vehicle, and bolt everything back together. Slide the new one into place, and would you look at that? Fits right in. Let's go ahead and compress the shock and slide it into where it needs to be.
So we got this side locked and loaded, ready. Working on that castle nut, and we are good.
So a new day, and we are back at it again. Now the issue initially was our tie rod was not unscrewing because it had been on there and it doesn't look like anyone touched it for many years. So we kept spraying it with PB Blaster every day, and we were finally able to crack it loose. Now what we're doing is we're putting the thumbtacks back in exactly how we had done it before. Now just to give you an overview, the way you do this is you measure from the floor to a certain point on the tire, and you want to put a thumbtack in there and again on the rear of the tire. Now the way I do it is I measure, so I did 16 inches off the floor, and then I measured and I picked one of the tread marks and I put it in the same position in the back, again 16 inches off of the floor. Once you get this, both of these thumbtacks set in, you could then measure between the two thumbtacks on both the front and the rear of the tire so that you could adjust the toe in to be 1/8 to 1/16 in toe in. So right now I put two of the thumbtacks. Aline is finished tutoring. She's recording. Why don't you say hi? Is that nice of you?
Hi guys.
So 2 thumbtacks in, and then we are ready to make some jam. At the end of that, I'm gonna also adjust the steering wheel's component of the alignment. So stay tuned for that, and then we'll take it out for a spin and see how we did.
When we only have so many hands. Nasty. Now that all 4 thumbtacks are in, now we're gonna measure and see how far we're off and in which direction we are swinging. Is it that direction?
Let's
Rotation, rotate that, da. Like I was saying, make sure to pull on that little metal piece on the side of your measuring tape. It does give you about like 1/16-ish, you know, of leeway. So make sure you're pulling here when you're measuring just to make sure you're super accurate.
So 62 and 10/16 is the front measurement. Let us measure the rear.
Back we go. Back we go.
Now we're just gonna go ahead and tighten these up now that we measured 2/16 of a difference between the front and the rear of the tires. There are 2 of these to tighten up in total, and they are 13 millimeter. What we're gonna do next is unscrew these guys over here, which we've already done. They're nice and loose. You're gonna also rotate this little metal piece over here in order to align it with your front steering wheel. So you can see your steering wheel turn as you rotate this. You want it to get dead center. We're not terribly picky, so we're just gonna get it as close as possible, and then you might have to come back and do this over again. This one's 14 mil, this one's 15 mil. I have no idea why. We're gonna button all this up and take it out for a spin, and hopefully we're good to go.
We are all wrapped up. Let's take this baby for a spin, and let's see how it does.
Hopefully we don't have too much vibration or shaking. Let's see what happens. And we're gonna be using Aline's phone as a GPS speedometer because our current speedometer is way off. We're gonna have a video on that in a little while. Let's do it.
So I will be using my phone to track our speed.
My goal is to take it to 65 miles an hour and to see if it works out. Looks like the steering wheel still needs to be adjusted. It's still pointing to the right. I'll soak it in PP Blaster and do the realignment again.
Alrighty, we are at 25 miles an hour, you guys, and these tires are so quiet. Tops off, just got a net in the back, open windows, and it is so quiet. Pretty.
So we just took the thing up to the freeway. We hit 65, 70, no problems at all. I really like the steering stabilizer. I could tell that the steering wheel was not vibrating at all. It was very, very smooth. Now that we've driven in on these springs and shocks for some time, I cannot speak to how amazing they feel. I mean, the ride is really smooth. The shocks are doing their job. I mean, what do you think, Ollie?
Super smooth, you guys. It's a comfortable ride, even though it's up so tall. I didn't think it'd be this comfortable, but it definitely is.
Definitely has some amazing roadside manner. And as always, thank you all so much for watching our channel. Please check us out on Instagram at Garage Couple.
Thank you for staying tuned. Make sure to drop a comment below for what you want to see next, and we're excited to keep you posted.
Cheers!